area, what we've found now, we're casting issues differently. Here in Seattle, we have a watershed, and the water is filtered by the forest. That the city has avoided $250 million for a filtration plant for over 100 years. That decision to buy the watershed 100 years ago would never have been made with the current economic decision making, because for maximizing present value, it was crazy. But in fact, it's paid off tremendously. It was a great decision. We just worked with a group of cities here saying, let's form a watershed utility investment district where we combine stormwater. Right now, 16 cities are pushing stormwater into the Green River as fast as possible. And then you've got Boeing and the port downstream saying, oh my gosh, we're getting flooded out. We need to spend more on levees. So we waste money on one set of infrastructure to demolish another set of infrastructure. So these cities have wisely said, let's get together, let's restore this watershed. We get better flood protection, better salmon restoration, etc., by using the benefits of natural systems. So I think decision makers in the public are getting it.
And that drive to hear that you actually came out of the mining industry is very...
That's right. I did, and I also worked in the oil industry briefly.
Okay. So I suppose you could be cast out as kind of nutty, lefty, green economists. But does that resonate when you say, well, actually I've worked in mining and in the oil industry?
People are surprised. They are surprised. And it's why I think also, these issues, they sort of transcend politics a bit. For instance, one of our arguments here in some very conservative communities is nature is providing these goods and services for free and in perpetuity if it's healthy, like flood protection and such. Wreck the system, now you have to have a tax district. You have to build a bunch of levees. Then you have to maintain the levees. And suddenly those who, were saying, oh, well, you kind of leftist environmentalists are saying, well, this makes really good economic sense.
So watching, you would be like the rest of the world on your TV, watching and this scrambling to kind of come up with some kind of technology to suck the oil up, and the pictures of birds dying and the dead marine life. How are you responding to those pictures?
Oh, it's just a shock. It's horrific. And I actually spent 5 years in Louisiana. I also worked for the Louisiana Geological Survey. So we did this report because this is a group of us who have spent time in Louisiana, and we know the value. And it's heartbreaking. And to think of the period of time this is going to have impact over is tremendous. And I think it's a real reflection for Australians, because you've got huge assets in the Great Barrier Reef, huge assets in your watersheds providing benefits to the people of Australia. And we need to value these natural systems. They sometimes require investment for restoration, like the Mississippi Delta, but that's a good investment. We've calculated the returns are generally $6 or more on the dollar invested in public benefit.
So you still believe in the market?
Oh no, not necessarily. Here's what I believe. This is a great question, Alex. Markets should do what they're good at. And I think producing cars and plastic toys or a variety of things, markets are good at. Let's let them do what they're good at. Markets are not good at dealing with public goods. Like flood protection, you can't say, okay, you didn't pay your bill, well, you're going to have 10 feet of water on your property and your neighbor isn't. So it doesn't work markets don't work for other public goods, drinking water, a huge variety of things, flood and storm protection, etc. So these are areas where you have to have a strong government agency, public utility, or different structure, and it really depends on the physical nature and the community. So we can't assign markets to take care of our climate. It's gonna melt down if we do.
Because we've just had an emissions trading scheme shelved here, David Batker.
Yes, I know.
Which is a market response, of course. But David, fascinating to talk to you. Thanks so much for taking our call there in Seattle.
Well, thank you very much, Alex.
Farewell.
I appreciate it.
That's David Batker, and he's an ecological economist and executive director of Earth Economics in Seattle. And he's co-authored the report Wetlands, Hurricanes and the Economy, the Value of Restoring the Mississippi River Delta, which is up on their website if you want to take